podcast, something with you guys. Yeah, so we're not live, but we're close to live. Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I just kind of edit this out. This is like the beginning where it's like quiet, and I can just kind of put some of that shit music I have, like the free music from iMovie that I use.
Yep.
So if you know anybody who makes music, let me know. Anyway, so Kyle James, I don't know your last name, but for right now, your name's Kyle James, right?
Perfect.
Cool.
Yep, that's it.
So welcome to the show. This is Casual with Ryan Proctor, episode 23. And got Kyle on. He's a filmmaker, animator, award-winning, director, I guess, producer, everything, right? Kind of? Yeah.
Like that.
Cool. Okay, sweet.
Yeah.
He works across the street here, across the highway at Origin Design. So I don't know if we're allowed to drop their name, but we won't get anybody in trouble. So, so this is going to be, we're going to chat about, I don't know what he does, maybe some of our 72-hour Filmmaker Showdown stuff. We did an episode 2 weeks ago with Kevin and Chris, the two guys that were with me and Benched. And we thought it'd be cool. I thought it'd be cool to chat with you too, just besides that, just to chat with you because you do good work and seem like a cool dude. So, welcome to the show, man.
Thank you.
Cool. Welcome to my
Good
kitchen.
To be here.
Yeah, thanks, man. It's kind of warm in here. I'm sweating a bit, but we'll get past that. So I want to just start off with you've been in Whistler. You said you moved here in 2011 for like 4 years.
Yeah. So originally just came over as a ski bum, doing the whole snowboard instructing type thing.
Right.
And
cool.
eventually just moved home to study for a bit and just got back here in October. So yeah, it's good.
Yeah, and then we'll touch on the video stuff after, but I want to kind of talk about what you do because I was checking out your website. It's interesting. It's pretty cool stuff. So you went to school at, is it SEA or SAE?
Yeah, it's sound audio engineering. So it's like a sound school actually.
Right, because they're all over the world, those schools I saw.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I saw them in Vancouver and in Australia where you went. I guess I did some research. It don't sound creepy, I hope. But
Stalking me. Yeah, okay.
yeah, I just looked on your Facebook page and then I just like went on their website. But so you did that and then you moved here?
Yep.
Okay, and so you said most of your work. So what do you do mostly for work? Like, what's your, when people hire you? You run Husky Films.
Mm-hmm.
You're the founder of it, right?
That's it.
Yeah. So then, what's your, like I saw what you do, but for the people that might not know, what's your focus when someone calls you or when you do a project?
Yeah. So it's mainly animation work at the moment or motion graphics type deal. Anytime a client comes to me with some kind of idea, I always push stop motion as the first thing that I'm trying to like get off the table, but it's not something that most people want to go for. So it usually ends up being some kind of 2D animation or some kind of motion graphics. But
right. Okay. Yeah. Cool. And I might shut those blinds in a second here, but I'm going to ask you a question, and while you're chatting, I might go shut the blinds.
No worries.
And so you do, like I see, you have a pretty small crew, like 3 people.
Yep, that's it.
Right. And so when someone comes to you guys for work, is it like, okay, do you all go, or is it like, this is my ideas and these guys help you, or is it pretty collaborative, your crew?
Yeah, so I met Ruben, he's the audio engineer at school with me. Cool. So we were kind of like the first people that kind of really got involved with it. Yep. Most of the time when there's a project, usually always needs audio, so he's probably usually always involved. But if it's smaller and we don't really need Jamie, who's the third guy, he's not always involved. But he's like a really talented set maker and graphic designer. So if we do have more complicated projects and we do kind of get some of those stop motion jobs, it's really good to have him on board. He's got like an architectural background, so he's
cool.
Crazy at making like really good sets. So
sick, yeah, because that's like, from what I've seen in the videos I saw, they look legit. Like the backgrounds, like they look really intricate, like time consuming and just like really hard to pull together. So having that would be like, I mean, you see, you have an artistic direction, then have him like, I know how to build this from behind the scenes. That's cool.
Yeah.
And those guys do other work, or they just work for like, are those guys like, they must do other?
Yeah. So Ruben does other work. He's just doing like hospitality at the moment, and Jamie's a carpenter. So this is kind of like our second job.
Cool.
Yeah.
Hope like the side gig, the side hustle, right?
That's it. Yeah. That's what it's been for most of it. So.
Right. Cool. How long has Husky Films been around for then?
It's pretty new. I started it when I was in university, so it's probably like 2-3 years old. Yeah.
Right. That's kind of a cool time to start things, because you're not like, you're working, you have school to go, so if it's, you don't have to like do it on the side, but you're not like trying to pay your bills with it, right? So it's like good to like be able to grow it and stuff, right?
That's it,
cool.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. And so now you work for a company here. Oh wait, sorry. You came here and you did ski instructor stuff. Then you went back to school in Oz.
Yep.
And then you came back here just recently, or like in the last little while.
Yeah. So I guess like I can take it back a few steps and give you like the broader story.
Yeah, I'd be stoked to know, because I mean, you do
works.
great work, and it's just cool to see. Like, I'd love to know how you got to that point.
Yeah, I think it kind of all started like moving out here to Whistler and just kind of trying to escape that whole rat race and figure out what I wanted to do. And pretty quickly realized I didn't want to be a snowboard instructor forever. And so I was just always kind of doing my own side things, like trying to make films, and just bought myself a camera and all that kind of stuff. And it was 2015 when I entered that 72-hour film festival the first time.
Oh, okay. Is that long ago? Okay, cool.
Yeah. Sorry, excuse the cough.
That's right.
So yeah, I entered it back then, 2015, and I had no idea what I was going to do. I like signed up, you know, they give you the prop and everything, and I just saw how everyone had these huge teams, and I was like, oh crap. Yeah. Like, okay, this is pretty intimidating. Got home, still had no idea what I was doing. And my housemate was just like, oh, just like do some stop motion thing with a pair of socks. And I was like, whatever. And then I just pretty much just did that for 72 hours. And somehow that film made it into the finals. And that was like,
cool.
Huge like turning point where I was just like, oh, okay, I can maybe turn this into something. And that's what caused me to like go back to Australia, study, and then like work on it. And yeah.
So, but you must have had like a bit of like background behind it, right?
Besides just like
knowing
teaching myself how to take photos now.
That's fucking legit, dude. That's pretty cool, man. Because I don't think I saw the sock one. Maybe I did. I don't really go. So what we're talking about, if no one's listened to my podcast before, which I don't get offended by it, but it's a 72-hour Filmmaker Showdown. Happens in Whistler every year for the Ski and Snowboard Festival, and you have 72 hours to make a video. And we met because we both in this contest, but I didn't go to it too often. But I heard about you, and I was like, oh man, this guy's gonna be legit.
Oh, you heard about me before the thing?
Yeah, because I heard you'd been in. I heard about you'd been in like in one stop motion before, but I didn't know who you were, but you looked at it at all. And you're like, there's some stop motion guy who's really good, and I was like, okay, cool, whatever.
Sweet.
But yeah, no, and then so then you did that, went back to school. That's pretty cool that got you back to school. It's cool, like an event like that, you know, as stressful as they are, and as like sometimes as big as they are, it's cool that can catapult you back in something you were gonna do.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. And it gives you a bit of success to kind of go like, oh, this is cool, I can do this actually.
Yeah.
You're not trying to start from like the bottom, essentially.
Yeah, because originally, like straight out of high school, I went to university and did business administration, and just dropped that straight.
No one finishes that.
It's like, this is not for me.
Yeah, right, exactly.
Yeah.
That's cool. And then, so you came back here, and then you competed again since then, or no? This is your first year back.
This is the first time.
Okay, cool. Yep. Yeah, sweet. So that brings us right up to what we were going to talk about anyway.
Yeah.
So yeah, we were in this. We were both unbeknown. I didn't know you. Well, I knew you were in it, but I didn't know who you were. We both kind of made the finals, which is cool.
Exciting.
Yeah, it's pretty cool, man. We'd never been in it before. The one guy acted, the guy that, Brian, well, his name's Kevin. He'd been in it last year, and he was one of the People's Choice actor or whatever. But the two guys that I was with were brothers. We hadn't been in it before, so I don't know if I saw you in the morning meeting at Merlin's that one morning.
Yep.
We were sitting there talking about like how like we've heard of these heavy hitters that were in the room, like we don't know what we're doing. And we were like, all these people, I know that guy won last year, and this crew's really good. And somebody said, oh yeah, the stop motion guy's here, and I didn't know who you were from previous years.
That's pretty weird, because I wouldn't thought anyone would have known who I was, because there was other people in that room that I knew. I was like, oh, you've won. Yeah.
Well, I think when I saw like Jan Lee and those guys, because people have been in it a ton, right? We're like, oh, we're gonna get worked. But then I think they had quite a few less people show up this year for the event as far as like submit.
There was no free gear this year.
I know.
Yeah.
That's so. I worked for the festival a bit too, but sounds like there was quite a drop in sponsorship, and that was a big draw, I guess, because you could use all the Olympus gear, right?
Yeah, that's it.
And you had that the year. Did you use the Olympus gear when you?
No.
Oh, okay. Because there must have been like if 40 teams apply, they got 40 sets of gear.
Yeah, and you get an extra $5,000 if you use their gear. So it was like.
And you win.
Yeah.
Dude,
but back
then I picked the wrong year for this bullshit.
Yeah, and it used to always be $10,000 as well. This is the first time it was 7. So
yeah, I know. Well, greedily, my friends and I were like, "Should we have a bigger crew?" So you talked about bigger crews earlier.
Yeah,
and I was like, "I don't care." And I was like, and my buddy Chris was like, "Well, if we get a bigger crew, how much money do we win?" I'm like, "I think it's $7,000." I was like, "Yeah, we can't get a bigger crew because we can't split $7,000 with like 10 people.
Yeah,
that's not gonna work." So we got the 3 of us, but you had a pretty small crew too, huh?
Yep.
Just 3 guys or 4 guys or whatever.
Yep.
Yeah, cool. Good. And that was you guys all picked what your skill was and did it, right?
Yep, pretty much.
Is that so? You have a dog in your movie too, right?
That's my dog. I just got. So.
Yeah, cool, sweet, nice. Yeah, he's pretty good dog.
Convenient.
Yeah, nice. I have a question for you. We shared ours on social media and stuff and use it because I don't know. Like, so I noticed that sometimes people don't do that.
Yep.
sometimes like even with like the Pro Photo Showdown and some just in other events around the world I've been part of, people sometimes don't share their projects. And doesn't bother me either way. I'm just curious what the motivation is to not do it. I guess if you're like a stake in for us was just to have a good time and try it out. And you know, I mean, we put a lot of work into it, but we just shared it. But I'm curious I'm like saying I saw that it was on your website, but I'm just curious if like you shared it around or people saw it or I don't think I saw it anywhere. Maybe I just did. Maybe our circle of friends didn't match on social media.
Yeah. I mean, I think originally I wasn't planning on sharing it. I was like, oh, maybe I'll do other festivals with it. But straight away, because you give away the rights once you enter. So straight away the WSSF shared it.
Oh, they did?
So I was just like, oh, it's already out there, so then I just shared it.
They didn't share ours.
Yeah. No, they did.
They did?
Yeah, they shared ours. That was the only one. So.
Oh, okay, cool. I didn't see that. Where'd they share it?
It's on their YouTube and their Facebook and all that. So yeah.
That's sick, really?
Yeah.
Because we were like, no one saw it. I followed them all. Anyway, sorry about that, WSSF. So you shared it. Does that kind of stuff get you work? Like, do people see it and go, hey, we work with this guy? Does it? I mean, you're already kind of doing the work, so it just more probably reinforces how good you are.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I think it's always good to just have a constant flow of the stuff out there. It keeps you relevant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the ones I saw on your website, they're a bit different. There's like people in them and stuff, but not all stop motion. Yeah. Some of them are passion projects and some of them are contracted work, or is it all?
That's it.
Okay, cool, sweet. Yeah, I think I was new to it, but I think the whole experience is pretty cool.
Yeah, it's really fun.
Yeah, we were trying to get, because our goal was to try to be just people's choice. We didn't think we were like, there's no way we're going to be able to match, because we knew like these crews like 20 people, and then we just thought there's no way we're going to get beyond that. So luckily and thankfully, like stoked we did for sure. But it was I had a good time that night. But it was kind of fucked up, like at the end, like all the balls and stuff in the. I want to talk to you about this because it was kind of controversial. It was kind of like it was tight.
Yeah, big time.
Yeah.
He didn't know how to call it, and so he had to like go to the judges. He was like, I need assistance. So I think whatever they said, then he was like, all right.
I think you were winning. I think we were one, right?
It was pretty much the same, I think. Yeah.
But then like, so I have accounts that people were swapping like ping pong balls around.
Yeah.
Someone tried to pour ours out and stuff, and I didn't see it all. I saw a couple people screwing around, but
there was definitely something going on. Like people just like weren't taking it seriously and grabbing balls and stuff.
For sure.
But,
but the cool thing was like I was pretty stoked that we were neck and neck. Like I think that's pretty cool, and like it's sometimes like I don't know. It was pretty rad to see. I mean, I was drunk by the time that happened. By the time that first because I think we went second. Yeah. Like, we're going to get worked. So as soon as that happened, I started drinking beers. And I was like, here we go.
You definitely want to be in the second half. But we were both in the first half and we both did well. So maybe it doesn't matter.
I don't think it matters. And I think I'd love to know, like, because they do like a whole pre-judging thing where they have like adjudicators, like 20 or whatever, them do this whole thing, right? Yep. I would love to know, like, I'd love to be a fly on the wall in the judging rooms or all this stuff. Because I've judged before for like intersection and stuff like back in the day. Yep. I've never judged other events, but I've managed other events, and I've just always loved to hear what the judges talk about. Yeah. I'm just so curious what they talk about in those things, because there was some other good shows in there for sure. I'm just curious how that works. And one winner's crazy because like it all goes somebody. But I think it was fun, man. And then did you guys go to the after party?
Yeah, definitely.
I think I saw you there, right?
Took the bar tab, but I didn't actually get that drunk. I think I was still in shock. I couldn't even. Yeah, I don't know.
I was already drunk when I got there, so I was asking my buddies, like, did we use the bar tab? They're like, yeah, for sure. I'm like, I don't think we did.
Yeah, I literally just gave it to the bartender and just gave some kind of password, and then told all my friends. I think I had like 1 or 2 drinks, but all my friends got drunk, so it was great.
That's cool. Yeah, for sure. What was your bar tab? Was it?
I think it was $200 or something.
Oh, really? It was like 150.
Yeah, it wasn't much, but
you can go through that pretty fast. That was like 10 drinks.
Yeah, exactly.
That was a fun time. I think like we were stoked, man. But when you did that, I don't know a lot about stop motion, but that's like, somebody told me it's like 15 pictures for every second. 12. Yep. That's standard, like all.
So yeah, it could be 15. If you were shooting like 30 frames per second, like for TV and stuff, you do 15. Right. But I was doing it like half of 24 is 12, so that's how I do it. Yep.
So what would be the benefit? Just like obviously faster movements or more detail? Like you'd have to.
I don't know. Something to do with animation is always shot on 2s unless motion's really fast. Then you do it on the 1s. Oh, but okay. It's just. You could do double the amount of work and it wouldn't look any better. Right, so it's better to do half the work. Right. Yeah.
It must have been a scene like stop motion to me. Like you must have had, Like, was it was it straightforward? Were you just shooting, you were good? Or did you have a lot of hiccups or like were you,
heaps of problems went down, as
Right.
always. It's like what we ended up making in the end was nothing even what we planned to make.
Really, eh?
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
we didn't even get close to the 5-minute mark. We were like a real short 3 minutes, and I think that was like the cutoff of the shortest it could be. So
3 to 5.
Yeah, we were lucky.
Dude, that's funny because we were filming ours. We're like, oh, we gotta cut some stuff out. We're like, we're gonna be over 5 minutes, and I was like, how is everybody else managing this? Like, people must be just frantic right now. And like, I thought about, I didn't know how big your crew was, but no one else's crew really got in my head specifically. It's more like some of those crews were huge, and
like the other Kyle, he had a big crew.
Yeah. And I want to ask you about that too, if you've been in it, because you've been in it before. But I do want to touch on this technical stuff. Like, it's just I don't know a lot about film, but I just really was curious of, like, after watching some of the other stuff you did too. It's just really cool to see. Like, did you fill the 72 hours max? Did you max out that time?
Definitely.
You did, eh?
Yeah.
Like, you were like up, like, was it like full nights and everything else? Like,
I actually got really sick on the last night.
Oh shit.
So, you know, for no one who's seen it, one of the end shots is Kevin getting really high.
yeah, right. Yeah, for sure.
So to do that, it took a really long time because we just had like these vape pens that we just kept inhaling and just blowing into the shot to try and get it each take.
Right.
And there was 3 of us doing that, and
You guys got
like
super high.
I mean, yeah, we didn't.
Sorry.
Didn't use the weed pen the whole time.
Right.
Like, we're just using like a tobacco one.
Yeah.
But I don't smoke tobacco.
Right.
So I got insanely sick, and I started throwing up and stuff.
Dude.
But it was like 2 a.m. on the final night, and like none of the editing had started yet. Because it's all stop motion, like you kind of make the edit as you go, so it's not too bad. It's not like we've got excess edit.
I guess because when the whole card will be, everything's in order. You just put
exactly,
in order.
yeah.
I mean, not just, but yeah, okay.
So luckily, like in a stop motion film, the editing process isn't that gnarly. But yeah, we finished at 2 a.m. on the final night. Then I started to throw up for a few hours and just was having a lot of trouble.
Dude.
But I just kept telling myself, like, there's no other time. Like, this is the time. So just had to just keep going, and yeah.
That's fucking cool. Well, we were kind of like, cause we were, I don't want to sound like, this might come across the wrong way, but we were pretty loose. Like, we didn't really, like, we were like, how busy everybody, because we were kind of going to bed at 10 o'clock and stuff. And, you know, I think we're going to be, and I was kind of getting stressed. I'm like, guys, we have enough time. And Chris is super fast editor, right?
Yeah.
We didn't try to do anything really like anything fantastic. We were trying to get the basics done. We did some cool stuff. I think the way he shot it was really cool and stuff. But yeah, we were like, man, because I was thinking about these big crews, and I'm like, I wonder who's freaking out right now, because we didn't know who was doing what, right? Because we were like, should we be more panicky? Should we be trying to run around? Should we be up all night and stuff? And it's just interesting to hear the different stories, because I'm sure everybody had different experience, right?
Yeah.
Like some of that one crew that shot one single shot, that must have been chaos.
Yeah, they said it took 10 takes, to get it.
So that must have been like, that's like 40 people looked like trying to get their shit done,
over
right?
and over and over, yeah.
Yeah, and get the same thing every time. Because the good thing is, if you fuck it up, you don't have to try to match it. You just got to do it again.
Yeah.
I guess that's one thing. It's like, well, it's either all or nothing every time, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And once you get it, I'm sure everyone's going nuts.
Like fucking losing their mind. Yeah, dude. Then you're just like, and then.
But that was a big crew. When they went up on stage, it was like, oh, damn, like half the audience is there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did they wouldn't have to edit then?
No.
Just sound correct, or sound and color correct and stuff?
Exactly, yeah. I mean, they had a green screen on all the windows.
Sure.
So
okay.
I remember him, Kyle was saying that he was having a lot of trouble because he had never done that before, and figuring out like how to key it all out and stuff.
Wait, how many Kyles were there?
Pretty sure that he was the only other one.
No, just the Kyle, the redheaded guy who did the shot on the iPad the whole time.
True, maybe I'm getting his name wrong. Sorry.
People were having sex on the couch or whatever. Oh, wasn't Johnny something?
Johnny Fleet, yeah. That's
right.
Thinking of, my bad, yeah.
This Kyle's the guy who had like that iPod. They shot the whole thing on an iPod,
that's it.
which is crazy too. Like to pull that off. I mean, I'd be cool. They should have a contest where it's like all like edited on a phone or something like that. Because you could do some cool shit still.
Definitely, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I do this.
On a phone.
I guess Steve's still taping actually. But you want a beer?
Yeah, I can go another beer for sure.
20 minutes.
Is it turn off after a certain amount of time? Or?
No, just sometimes I
Legend.
don't
Thanks, mate.
remember to clear the footage off I rinse them off already.
Okay, sweet.
Sometimes I don't clear the footage off like from my last podcast. And so like it does like, I mean, I do it at 1080p at 60 or 30 frames a second.
Yep.
Because I don't need it. Like we're not moving around that fast. But even then it's like 5 or 6 gigs on my phone. One time I was filming this guy who came from the city, like a friend of mine. I haven't talked to him in a long time. And was all pumped. I first got my first backdrop. I was all ready to go, and I was set up, and then I left it on like 4K or something, and it filmed for like 10 seconds. Yeah. I filled it up. We didn't have a whole podcast. Like the first 10 minutes of like just him and I talking.
But at least it looked real good, you know?
It looked legit, dude. Yeah, for sure. And then I compress it to shit because I don't want to take forever to export it.
Yeah.
So, yeah, no, I think that's doing this has made me appreciate like the effort that goes into making like if I have a screw up and I have to try to edit something, I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah.
But I learned, actually, iMovie is somewhat reasonable. Like it sucks, but I didn't know, like I was like, how am I going to put our bench video into the video? You just click and drag.
Done.
Like it's super, I'm like, oh, that's how you do it. I'm like super pro. But then like trying to figure out when I was watching Chris put that explosion that we had in the back at the end of Benched, that you just buy like an animated thing, right? I mean, all about it. So I didn't, I'm like,
or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't, it took a bit longer, it looked like in Final Cut or whatever he was using. Probably because I feel like the better you want to make it, like the more harder it is to do in Final Cut to do that kind of shit, right?
Yeah.
What do you use to edit in? Is that what you use in?
Premiere Pro.
Oh, Premiere Pro. Yeah, cool. Yeah, sweet. When you were in school, is that what they use, or is it like it must be changing so fast?
Yeah, no, in school it was Premiere Pro. But I did like film production, so most of what I did wasn't like what I actually do for work, funnily enough. It was more like all the theory behind it and like budgeting and planning and all that kind of stuff.
Which is huge.
Sheets. Yeah, that's all really important stuff, but that's not what I really do now.
No,
so,
but that's like your business administration course, only the film side of it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I mean, they do teach you cameras and all that kind of stuff too, but yeah.
Yeah. I mean, for sure, like I remember when I was in school, I went to college, I graduated in like 99, but I'm an old guy, but I remember just going to school and I was like, by the time we graduated school, everything we learned on was just gone. Like we don't use this stuff anymore. I'm like, cool. Good thing I don't want to do this.
Yeah, that's the thing. Things are changing really quickly. So,
yeah. Do you find that too? Like even now, like are you like a gear nerd? Are you like trying to like find the newest shit all the time or like?
No, not at all.
No, right, yeah. Cool. I mean that's.
I'm not actually that techie at all, to be honest.
No.
Yeah. So.
What do you? Yeah, like. So when you're in the room and you're doing like. Yeah. You use like a DSLR, I guess, for the most part. You don't.
Yeah, I got a GH5.
Oh, okay, cool. Yep. And then there's no. Do you even have a video camera?
No.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's weird that like a lot of stuff. Yeah, I watched a lot of podcasts that are filmed on DSLRs, but I thought they had a limit to how much long they could film. They had like a half an hour film limit. Is that something like that?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm always curious how some of these podcasts do it because like you see behind the scenes, they have like 4 different angles and the producers behind them.
Yep.
Kind of like what we have here. You can't see anybody, but
yeah,
you. We'll have somebody walk into by accident, but yeah, I'm just curious about because I was trying to find cameras for that, but yeah, I feel like I was talking to a friend of mine. He's like, just use your phone because if you're not going to get a good camera, and then you have huge file sizes.
Yeah.
And he goes, "What's the video?" I'm like, "Well, I love the video side because I mean that's where how I watch the podcast." But yeah, I'm always curious what people use, and if you focus on this stuff, you probably buy new gear every fucking month if you focus on it. If you're like all nerd about it.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, there was definitely people like that at uni too that were there and they just had heaps of money and not much idea of what was going on and they just bought all the stuff and it was always like, damn, I wish I had all that stuff. Yeah.
But then I don't be an asshole, but you probably watch what they do. You're like, that's not very good.
Yeah, that's it.
Because they're like trapped in tech, I guess, right? Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, I don't know a lot about it at all, but I just watch a lot of people do a lot of like versatility with the smaller cameras.
Yep.
But yeah, I just think like it seems to me like when I watch a stop motion, I feel like behind the scenes is like tons of shit going on. Yeah. But when I see it, it looks so simple, but it's not.
Yeah.
But I guess it's simple in how you do it, but it's not simple in the amount of time and the effort it takes to be meticulous about these like 12 shots per second.
Yeah. I mean, for me, like I went to uni after that stop motion film. I made this one. It's called Socks to Be Lonely, about the pair of socks. But when I was there, I didn't learn any of the stuff that I like really wanted to do. Right. So when I finished, I spent like the whole next year really focusing on stop motion again. So I spent a whole year actually working on this other film. It was called Jerry.
Yeah.
And I made the mistake of like not focusing on the story at all. So I just made this film for a whole year that had no story and it turned out to be pretty rubbish. But I just learned heaps along the way, which was super important. Like that was probably some of the work that you saw, like with the detailed sets and all that.
Sure. So, yeah, totally.
I also had like this little animation book that like one of my mum's family friends gave me, which I just like figured out all the motions and how it all works and stuff. So yeah. And then even just like making the characters, that was a huge learning curve. Like I started off just trying to like make the clay thing and realizing like, oh, that's like really hard to move them. Like that's not gonna work. Then ended up buying like little bits of like steel and brass balls and trying to make like skeletons and see if that would work. And then again, ended up being like really stiff and hard to do. Eventually just ended up buying
thing. So that's like you buy, like it's a stop motion tool.
Exactly. Eventually I just gave in, like just couldn't figure it out, so I just bought this. It's called a kinetic armature. You get them from Europe, and yeah, you can have a little play if you want. But
yeah, I'm gonna try and hold it up so people can see it. Whoops, it works pretty well. So this is like just like a machined piece with like Allen keys that you can like spin and stuff, and it's pretty movable.
Yeah, so that's actually what Kevin.
The skeleton
that's
of
the
Kevin.
skeleton of Kevin.
Yeah, it's pretty cool, man. I mean, it looks kind of creepy, but
definitely,
it looks way out of proportion.
Yeah,
It looks like the legs are giant.
Yeah,
but I guess, and then you just put plasticine around this, like you just packed it in.
No, I actually ended up convincing like a good friend of mine to help me help me out.
Yeah,
and she like again similar process. Like it's all trial and error. Like the first one we made like this other character was like some kind of pirate.
Yeah,
and it was again we used plasticine, and again it was really stiff, and we couldn't figure out like how that the industry did it that way. And then we eventually came up with this system where we just got cotton balls and like made kind of like more bulky, kind of meaty. And then she was really good at sewing, so she just sewed up the uniform. And yeah, so the only thing that's actually like plasticine or clay was the head
and the glasses, right?
Yeah, and so that we did like oven.
So you pretty much made a scarecrow.
Yeah,
and then just put like a frame in it, right? Yeah,
exactly. Yeah,
and then you had like a star or a clay head.
Yep. That's it.
Cool. Because when the eyes move and stuff, it's fucking cool. Like, it just like, this is it. And you can see like the smaller, the cool thing that got me was the little intricacies of like how a human would like just look their eyes. Like, it's pretty cool to see. It's cool. And so how did you have someone go, hey, pose like this in the corner and show me how you would if you're running? Are you just like kind of pick poses? Like,
yeah. So again, that whole year of like trying to figure it out in this failed film that I was making was all that. It was just like I would try and do these things, and it would take ages to figure it out, and just heaps of just complete crap.
Right.
Until eventually you just kind of get the flow of it, and you just I learn from doing. So for me, I've just got to keep practicing and figure it out.
Right.
Yeah.
It seems like you worked out the kinks of the tech side so you could apply a story to it much easier later on.
Exactly. Yeah.
It was like, I'm going to fight through this mission, not knowing I'm fighting through this mission. Now all of a sudden, now I know I can just apply. Now I know the techniques. I can say, oh, that'll work in story. I know how I can make this guy move this way. Yeah, trial and error is huge, right? I mean, it's like, I was telling you earlier about this podcast. I had the audio hooked up wrong for 5 episodes, and now it's fine, or better. Yeah.
Another good thing was, because in Kevin, like I didn't have that whole year of all that time to do the stuff. So every time we came to a take or a shot, because like normally for like 5 seconds worth of stop motion, it's like a couple hours, you know, like it's a long time. So really I just had like, sometimes I had to get it first go or like 2 goes max. And another shot in the film was that like green screen with him like hooked up and stuff. I had no idea where that was going when that shot started.
Really?
It's just like, I'm running out of time. I need to continue the story.
Cool.
And I wanted to do something else, but like halfway through the shot, I like made a huge error, and he slipped and he like fell, and it was like too late to try again. Like I'm running out of time. So then I just kind of like just went with wherever it was going, and then it just ended up working, and then I just made him like beat up his set and just like break out of it and stuff, and I was like, oh sweet, that actually worked. So,
it looked really good, man, for sure. I'm gonna, if you don't mind, I'm gonna link this at the end, like when I'll put it in like the link of the video
sweet.
stuff, whatever, people can see it too. I'll put it from your site. It's on Vimeo.
Yep.
I have a question for you about Vimeo.
Yep.
But I'll save it for later.
No worries.
I'm gonna get furious when I talk about it. But yeah, I think the trial and error thing is same like for us when we were doing our project. We found this bus stop. And we went to, you know, where the Crabapple, there's a I speak really fast. So Crabapple bus stop. It's like, anybody doesn't know Whistler, it's like this like nice wooden, like kind of like live edge kind of wooden bus stop. It's beautiful. It's got like, there's a big kind of turnaround. We thought it'd be a great spot to film this thing because it wouldn't be lots of space. Camera could go back. Lots of like, you know, long angle shots, whatever, long shots. And we're like, oh, we didn't film there. And then we found this one bus stop that looked awesome, and some vandals had smashed the windows out over the years.
Oh, no.
And we're like, I was like, this is kind of lame, but I'm like, ended up being awesome because we could like walk through it and make those really cool transition shots. But then we're sitting there and talking about these accidents. We're sitting there and the bus never. We had all planned to deal with buses going by, people waiting for the bus. Okay, we're gonna take this much time to shoot. What happened was this bus stop's defunct. No one uses it anymore, so we didn't know.
So no one's coming
So
by.
we're like sitting there doing these like long shots because we had these pan offs, like just boring shots, like far away. We were trying to get the bus to come by, and like then we just drive by, whatever. Never comes by, and then so we're sitting there, and someone's like, "Hey, for 2 days, people keep walking by, going to work, and they're walking by us to the bus, and they're like, "Hey, the bus doesn't stop here anymore." We're like, well, "Really?" So 2 days in, we're like, "Well, we guess we can't fucking get that shot." Cause no one took us a little while to figure there was no bus coming by. We didn't really clue in because we were too busy shooting, but it worked out great because, like you said, things just happen and you just, oh, now this is great.
Yeah.
Because we didn't have to worry about a bus going by. And that was kind of actually the joke where there's never, ever a bus.
Yeah.
But it's cool to be in the process. You have something planned. You're like, oh, I can't. You're worried about it not working out, but you're like, well, I have to go with it because I only have this much time.
Yeah.
I feel like
that's where the magic happens sometimes. Yeah.
If you had 7 months to do this, you'd probably just take all 7 months anyway.
Yeah. Or you would keep planning for those buses and you wouldn't get that magic moment because you're too focused on what you've planned, which might not work anyway.
Yeah.
So.
I said this before too, and this is more of a thing about life is where like I spend a lot of time like trying to plan stuff, and like I think planning gives me a chance to be procrastinate and then not do it. Mm-hmm. So planning allows me a chance to just not do things. And so recently I've been like applying that idea of like just jumping into stuff in life of just like, just do it. Like don't think about it. If you plan it, you're just giving yourself an out. So I think in some respects, when you're making a film in 72 hours, you have to plan it, but at some point you just got to go with however it goes on.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, you must have had trouble with the dog. He has a live dog in his video, a real live dog. Did you have trouble with that? Seemed like it worked out well. Was that like? Did you have to? It was a puppy too, so
got super lucky.
You scored, by the way. I mean, you definitely had the puppy play.
Yeah, I mean that was a winning element in the previous ones. I was trying to replicate a very similar formula.
Sure, I mean there is a formula for all these events. I think. Yeah, for sure. Yeah,
especially because in 72 hours you don't have the luxury of making all these different crazy sets. So like having a house to be this set was like the best way to go. So
well, dude, that opening scene is so fucking awesome. When you're sitting there, I was like that part. I was like, whoa. I was like, what's that? I was kind of drunk, but I was like, what's happening here? Because you were in it.
Yeah.
And it looked really fucking cool. I was like, what's this going to be about? It was kind of so intriguing to think like, okay, he's definitely got some different world he's building here. And then it was cool. Was that like?
So that was the set from the failed film, which is great.
Oh, okay. So we were curious. I'm like, he must have been planning this for years, because like.
So all the assets are from this failed film.
Okay, cool.
Like that's why it was so perfect.
Top secret
it was like
information here.
Yeah, we were like everything like in that other film just went so wrong. We were like, how can we just make sure none of this goes to waste? And we were like, well, let's just try and reuse it and see what happens. So
you still had it?
No, I got it was all in Australia, so I got my mum to put it in like some suitcase and ship it over.
Really? Good thing you won, dude. How much was that? That must have been fuck. That's like, I know how much it takes to send a snowboard back, dogs. Fucking dude.
But it got fully like taken apart. So like originally our set was like, I don't know, like bigger than this table here. Like probably a good like 8 foot long, 8 foot by like, I don't know, 4 foot or something. Like, and we built it up to like my height too. So it wasn't always like, I'm a tall guy. So we had a pretty high bench, and it was pretty awesome back then. But the one we made for this one, like when you take sets apart, they never recreated the same. So this one was much smaller, and the detail wasn't as good. Plus a lot of the stuff was damaged by then, but
it went a long way.
Yeah.
Fuck. That's interesting, man. Cause everyone we were talking, cause I mean, we were obviously like stoked, and we were like, oh, what happened? And how did, everyone's like, I'm like, I don't think anybody knows the rules, because you can make the set as long as you want before the show. You can do whatever you want.
That's a part of it. I mean, as long as everything is shot in the 72 hours, that's what
everything else is fine for sure. And people ask me, I'm like, he should have been making this thing for 3 years. Who knows? It doesn't matter. I was like, but it looked fucking super intricate. I'm like, there's no way. I'm like, there's no way you built it in 72 hours. I didn't. Obviously, that wasn't the rules, but it was good, man. It's cool. It's funny. That's the kind of stuff I wanted to know about. The behind the scenes stuff, like how things got done. Yeah. Because like we're making ours, and we had like no set, right? We had a bit of a script, and like there's a point where we're like trying to recreate sound effects under a sheet in my buddy's bedroom, because I fucked up the audio in my kitchen when I'm doing this like thing about making the bomb and stuff. I talked way too fast, and it just sounded horrible. It sounded too clean.
So it was all ADR?
What do you mean?
Like audio done on top of the video later?
No, we did it all on we did all the recording while it was happening.
Cool. Okay.
So yeah, like the audio was hooked up to the camera, so we didn't have to layer it at all. I don't think. I was there. I was drinking.
Something happened.
I smoked weed too, we that was the thing, is like the audio thing was weird, because we used the tick-tock of the bomb was Scattergory's timer, like a board game timer.
Sweet.
So, I was like, what the fuck do we do? And then the groomer shot, we couldn't get the audio right, so that's a downloaded file we just had.
Yep.
And so actually it's from YouTube. Stole it. But it was of a snowcat backing up, right? It's just some random guy's video. But oh shit.
Shouldn't have said that.
I don't know.
We'll edit this out, don't worry.
Yeah, for sure, yeah. Maybe like a over top. I need some sound guys to help. But I think it's cool to hear everyone's story. I'd love to have everybody else come up, people come on and talk. I can't have all the crews, but it is interesting to see this like trial and error thing, and you have 72 hours, and it just like not being that much film, it just blew me away what you can pull off in 72 hours.
Yeah.
And I guess when you have, like, it just seems crazy, dude. Like, even 3 minutes to have 12 shots a second.
But again, like, I mixed a lot of it with live footage, so it wasn't all stop motion, you know?
Oh.
Yeah.
Like when he slides across that thing, there's a part in the video, I don't give it away. This isn't a plot breaker, though.
Little zip line.
Yeah, that's like that's not stop motion, that's just shot,
Yeah, that's
right?
a shot, yeah.
So I guess there are, like, so how...
And there were more moments, like, back to that magic when you're not planning for stuff. Like, I was just like, my dog's called River. I was just trying to shoot her for ages, doing stuff that I wanted her to do, and she just was not doing it. And then my buddy, like, rocked up in the driveway, and she just jumped on the bed and went up onto the window.
Boom.
And I was filming, and I was like, I'm going to use that for something else now.
Yeah.
And then it worked later. So
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's pretty rad. I think it's cool. I never really thought about it that way as far as, like, your stop motion is, like, you have... It's not just all stop motion.
Yeah.
I didn't like clue into that. I just think everyone thinks, I think like stop motion, I think encompasses the whole thing.
Yeah.
But how many, I mean, it's obviously tons of it. And when he's in that, like when he's getting smoked out in that room, super funny, man. It's so funny. And even just when he's like sneaking around and he hides behind the I don't want to give it away. You should watch this. I'll put it on my YouTube link. But when he pops behind in the fridge, dude, it's funny. Like, the movements are funny.
Yeah.
That's what's crazy. It's like you have to make a character that's like, did you and you built the character, right? Like you made his face and stuff. So you're an artist and a sculptor basically is at the same time.
Well, yeah, my friend helped me with most of that, but I like planned out what it was meant to look like and stuff.
But like just to get the humor behind it. Like stop motion is one thing, but to get the humor and the body movements to be funny, that's those small little things that it's hard to get. Like how did you you just know?
I don't know. Yeah, I think that
awesome.
think that's the main skill that I possess is the
internally just knowing that,
bringing out the character, not the making of the character, but the animating the character.
Right.
Yeah. So I've had heaps of help with the creating all the assets and the sets and the character, or everything. But my main skill is like bringing it to life. You know, that was the same with the socks. You know. It was just, how do I make a pair of socks come to life? And that's what I managed to do. So
yeah, there's those people, there's skills that everybody has. I think like, Chris and Kevin and I talked about our video too. And it was like, I had this idea, those guys have technical savvy and Kevin's like really smart and like organized. And I was like, I didn't know how to make the ideas look funny, but I knew what was funny. Like I knew what to say, what was funny. I knew like what would be funny. But I didn't know how to make it look funny. When they had when then these guys they're film nerds. So they were like, we have this Tarantino idea. And I'm like, I don't know, whatever, sure. It's funny. And it was awesome. And I was like, I even talked about the section where we have the groomer going. I was like, I almost wasn't going to do it because I have connections. I was going to call them. And so I called Mr. Blackham to help me. And I was like, it's not going to be funny. So I was going to just dog it and not do it.
It turned out pretty funny.
Fuck, dude. I felt so bad. I fessed up. I'm like, hey guys, we're doing a podcast. I'm like, I fessed up. I almost was like, But then I was like, no, these guys are trying hard. I'll do this. And yeah, it was super good. Yeah. So it does take those. I mean, it's funny. I'm one to take things on my own and not ask for a lot of help. But when you have people with the skills behind you to let you just do what you want, like some guy is going to build the set. Somebody's going to build it. You're like, hey, now I can do whatever I want. I can be as creative as I want because I know this, my friend, is going to be able to execute what I think is funny. Which some of the movements, like even the eyes going back and forth and stop motion, is super funny. It's cool. Okay, I have a question. We've been just, I don't know, it's like maybe an hour, maybe 45 minutes now, but I have a question about, it makes me so mad. So I had a Twitter fight with Vimeo like a little while ago.
Like the actual company.
Yeah, they were going back and forth a bit because I hate Vimeo. It drives me up the wall. And but I'm not a filmer guy. And I don't know. Like I consume YouTube because I'm a consumer and probably some brain dead guy. But the three of us had a discussion about where we're going to put the video when we're done. And as an artist, I've always been even when I used to work in sports marketing stuff back in the day, and I always knew that like the true artists would want to put their video on YouTube or on Vimeo. Vimeo, it's like an artist community. Like, cool, but it never loads.
What?
Fuck, dude, it never loads. What? This is new to you?
Yeah,
this drives me nuts. So every time I go to play YouTube or Vimeo, I have to go away and come back for it to be ready to play, or it stops halfway through. Is this not your thing?
I haven't seen it, but yeah, it makes sense.
You haven't? No, but on YouTube in general. Sorry, Vimeo in general.
Yeah,
it works fine for you.
Yeah.
Wait, we're all on the same internet here. I'm on show. What this is? You're lying to me right now. I can tell. How do you, dude? It makes me so fucking mad.
So why do you think it doesn't load?
I don't know. It just never loads for me. And my roommate talks about it. Like I've always heard, and ever since I've ever heard of Vimeo, I always have to. It stalls out halfway through, whatever video I'm watching. Doesn't matter what video it is. Stalls out. You don't have this problem?
I don't recall. Like, I work on Vimeo every day for work. That's how we send all our videos to clients. So.
Yeah, you put like it's great for it.
Yeah.
It's better than YouTube for sure, obviously.
Yeah.
But you know what's the problem?
I haven't noticed it. No. Yeah.
All right, this cut. Things over. So I get so because. All right, damn it. I'm an expert.
I also secretly work for Vimeo.
Yeah, you're the one who said we planned it that way. So I tweeted, I was like, hey, the best thing about Vimeo is you can press play and then go get a coffee up the street and come back and it starts to play for you. Yeah. They were like, we planned it that way. And I said,
they said that.
Yeah, and I was like, haha. I sent some back and forth. I deleted them because I was trying to be funny. It wasn't funny.
Yeah.
But no, it just sucks. I don't know. It just sucks, man. But in my opinion, it sucks. It doesn't just suck. But so for me, I guess I'm trying to figure out the balance of Vimeo versus eyeballs on YouTube. And obviously, like, there's a ton of minutia on YouTube. But there's a lot of garbage on Vimeo too. Mm-hmm. But it seems like less of it because people are like more poignantly putting it there for a reason. Yeah.
It's also speaking to a different audience, I think. Sure. If you're putting stuff on YouTube, you're speaking to everyone. Right. If you're putting something on Vimeo, you're speaking to other artists.
Do you guys do both? So when you launch a video, do you do both? Like if you launch your own personal video, do you have your stuff on YouTube as well?
Yeah, sometimes I'm a bit lazy with YouTube though.
Cool. I'm not. Yeah. I'm just so mad that you're into Vimeo and you don't experience what I experienced. But yeah, so because I'm thinking like for this I put on YouTube, I don't put it on Vimeo. Yep. Like for Joe Rogan's podcast, for example, he puts the stuff on Vimeo. Oh, does he? He gets like 3,000 views.
Yeah, no one's on Vimeo.
Yeah. So why is it not working if no one's watching? Like the bandwidth is there. They must have like it can't just be me, man. I'm gonna have to bring somebody else on and shit about it, but that's why I wanted to ask you. Now, I'm even probably more angry than I was before with Vimeo because you don't have a problem with it.
I mean, what I like about it is I can get into like the staff picks section. Yeah. And you can just hit play and you just get a stream of like quality stuff. Cool. And sometimes if I'm like looking for inspiration of like what I want to do next, it's just cool to see what other artists are doing. Whereas I'm less likely to go on YouTube and just hit play and just see where I end up because it's like, you know,
it's not as good of an experience. Yeah. The Vimeo clicking play for an artist is a much better experience as far as content that they serve to you. Yeah, I agree with that for sure. I think that's a better spot for it. And if you want to showcase, and you can replace videos and keep the same URL. Yeah. On YouTube, you can't.
You can't do that. Yeah.
So you have to like replace and get a whole new URL, blah blah. So you lose views. So I did a podcast with the mayor. For some reason, it cut out the last 20 minutes. It was a good 20 minutes, solid 20 minutes.
Got it.
So I didn't know because when I loaded it, it showed me the full time. But then when I got to, everyone's like, "Hey, this kind of cuts off," and the mayor was like, "Yeah, it dies at the end." I'm like, "Yeah." I'm like, "Oh shit!" So I re-uploaded it, but it's not lose the views. I just unlisted that video, put a new one up.
Got it.
But with Vimeo, I do like how you can replace the video and keep the same URL.
Yeah, it's more like business artist orientated for sure.
Yeah. And do you find? I can't believe.
But also, I'm not the kind of person that I'm not on YouTube that often either. Right. So yeah.
I think I'm regressing into like a child or something like that because I use YouTube a lot. Yep. I don't have cable. Do you watch cable? Do you have cable TV? No. Yeah, fuck that.
No, it's Netflix.
Yeah, Netflix. Do you have Crave?
On our my housemate's got it on our TV.
Crave's pretty good. Sick, It's got some cool shows, man, for sure. Longmire or not Longmire? Sorry. Never mind. I forgot the name of it already. It's got Hank Azaria. He's an ex-baseball announcer.
Sweet.
Brockmire.
I'll have to check it out.
Legit. It's really funny. Yeah, for sure. But yeah, I just watch YouTube. Like, I mean, I don't buy YouTube because you can buy it now, premium.
Yeah, YouTube Red, right? Is that
I guess. Yeah, I don't know. And just, you can just like, because like I'll listen to podcasts. I'll put them on when I'm like at the gym or whatever. I don't use the music, but it's like if you want to close the screen on your phone, you got to have premium.
Yeah, that's what they do to get you.
A little bit shady for sure. Yeah, but then but then I just don't close my phone.
But then that doesn't make any sense to me because then you just get Spotify, wouldn't you? Or
sure. Yeah. Exactly. Right.
Whatever the Amazon one's called these days, I don't know.
But I guess what you could do because the bandwidth, because you can download stuff on Spotify onto like the app, right, on your phone or whatever it is, right? Yep. You can't download. I don't know for sure, but I don't think you can download YouTube.
Yeah.
Because if I was going to listen to a podcast for an hour and a half on YouTube, I have to download the audio. I don't know how it would work, but I'm not paying for it. Fuck it. But I already have Spotify.
I think I'm only ever on YouTube if I'm probably just watching Joe Rogan podcast. Probably.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. For sure. Yeah. Which is we talked about this earlier before we started recording this, but like it is an interesting world of podcasting with video. Yeah. Because the guys that I watch now are getting crazy studios. Yeah. Like I used to like Theo Vaughn and those guys who I've watched a bunch. We're just living race. Now they have like, I guess they must have made some deal with somebody, got a bunch of money injected in them because like now they're doing like crazy studios, like intros, like all these video. They put a lot of effort into like not Joe, but other podcasts put a lot of effort into like their video intros.
Mm-hmm.
So clearly there's a market for it. Because even though like I don't know what their views are, because Vimeo tells you what the views are, like what they've seen. I don't know what their collective views are on the audio streams. It must be huge.
I feel like Joe Rogan's touched on it before, and it's like well into the millions.
Yeah.
Even the bad episodes,
far beyond
like,
his YouTube, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a consumption thing. It's the way people work, I guess, right?
But have you ever tried to just listen to the audio format?
Oh, for sure. Yeah,
it's
I
like
have.
a solid 6 minutes of ads. It's nuts.
I know. Yeah. And so he's actually discussing moving on to his own private thing because he's like sick of being like controlled by YouTube and stuff. He's actually thinking about making his own app. So you pay and you can see all the content whatever you want.
Yeah,
because like,
I mean, I think for other people, there's Sam Harris has been on his podcast for a amount who talks about is a Patreon he goes through. But
there's a scandal behind Patreon though. Like the guy who owned Patreon's like does weird shit to people, or like he's not a good guy apparently. Yeah. Anyway, but that they raise money. It's like a crowdfunding, right?
But yeah, so there's really two systems these days. You know, you're going on the subscription based system like Spotify or Patreon or whatever, or you've got to go with running ads. Right. And I think someone like Joe, where you do have the ability to just skip through the ads or just watch it on YouTube. If I were him, I wouldn't change. But it seems to be a working formula.
I think he just gets frustrated with YouTube because he can't do what he wants. Yeah, he gets shut down. He gets like hacks. They'll get calls from YouTube. They'll get like demonetized and that kind of stuff.
Got it.
I think for him, his risk of being demonetized on YouTube is probably huge.
Yeah.
But I'm always curious about this. Is like they do. I mean, you don't know this, but if you don't know about it, they do audio advertisements, right?
Yep.
But why wouldn't you say, hey, whoever you advertisements, I'm going to put this. I'm going to charge you a bit extra to do a video version of it all. So you can either do audio or video advertisements with me. I can put on like.
But he does that for sure.
I don't know what's in his, like, you don't see anything really branded in his.
Yeah. He's got those like caffeine energy drinks that he's always drinking. I'm sure.
Cowboy coffee or something like that or whatever.
I'm sure that's sponsored.
Yeah. For sure. Yeah. I know he's got Laird Hamilton's coffee in there. Yeah. Dude, I would love to have guests. I mean, you're a great guest, but I would love to have guys like Laird Hamilton on for sure. But it's also stress, man. Like even I was talking to my roommate today when you're coming over, I'm like, I don't know this guy. I'm like, I don't know what to talk about. I'm like, hopefully like just drink beer and chat. I'm like, I don't know. Like maybe I offend somebody. I don't know what I'm going to do, but it is a bit stressful. That's why I was sweating at the beginning. It's like it's stressful to kind of sit down with somebody you don't know. Because I don't want to fail you by being here and make it a shit show. I also don't want to like have a shit show with people I don't want to watch. But yeah, podcasting's interesting. I don't know. It's huge. I mean, there's so many podcasts out there. Yeah. You should start one. For sure.
It's definitely a huge trend for sure. Everyone's kind of,
Yeah, I don't know. I just got into it. It's pretty fun. But I'm learning a lot about like, filmmaking, editing and that kind of stuff. But I gotta step up my game a little bit. But no, it's cool. I'm still surprised about the Vimeo thing with you. It's really strange. I don't know. So you've been in town now. So since you moved back, it's been what?
October. So like half a year or whatever.
Oh, just October.
Yep.
Oh, right. And then you work for an agency in town here.
Yep.
9 to 5.
Yep.
Yeah. Can you like work from home?
Yeah, every now and again. The only problem is like, I mean, everyone has the option to work from home. It's like a really sweet agency to work for in that regard. It's like really flexible. Like as long as you do your 40 hours, it's all good. Yeah. But when you work in the video department, you're kind of hooked up to the server. So you got to really
transfer files. You're like, let me take this hard drive home with me or whatever. You're like,
exactly. Yeah. So I got a plan to work from home. I got to make sure I know exactly what I'm doing the next day. I got to have everything ready to go. And so every now and again I can do it, but yeah.
You know what I find, and this is probably something to relate to with you, is like, stop drinking beer. I work from home a lot, like almost every day. But I'm curious, like when I go to work, I learn so much just by overhearing people talk. Mm-hmm. Being able to walk down the hallway and say, hey, I need to ask you a question. Loss of translation, texting, emailing, whatever else. When I'm at home, like it is extra effort to communicate to get what you need. Yeah. Maybe as a film editor, you're probably just, if you have the content there, you just stick, put your headphones on, sit in a dark room and edit. Yep. But I find that working from home is sometimes you're just like, I need to be in the spot to learn what's going on. Like how much you think, like when you're there, when you're at work, are you really interacting much? You're just kind of editing still, right?
Yeah, I mean, I find I'm a lot less productive at work.
Because people are like, hey,
for sure.
Can I ask you a question? You're like, what do you think about this? You're like, because you're a smart guy. They want your opinion on something else. Like, what do you think about this, like this photo we took or whatever? You're like, because they're pretty collaborative there.
heaps of meetings.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, well, agency work, dude. I worked for brands, and I worked for agencies, but
Yeah.
I've had enough meetings with agencies. I know that agencies have a lot of meetings.
Yeah, that's the first thing I realized when I started working there. Like most people's time is like meetings, but I guess like that's how you streamline efficiency across the board. So it makes
That's why your
sense,
project
but-
managers go to the meetings. They come back and give you the work.
Mm.
Because are you in the meetings though too? Like you must.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you got to learn. I'm not against being part of it all.
Yeah.
But sometimes you're like, I just need to sit in the dark and do some
Yeah.
work, right?
Also, because I don't know, with me anyway, to get into something, it always takes like a good 20 minutes of just like messing around, not really in the headspace. But then
Sure.
eventually you get into the zone, and once you're in the zone, you want to stay in that state. You want to keep your headphones on, keep your music on, or if you need to be listening to what you're doing, listen to that. But usually I've just got some kind of album on and I'm just in the zone. But every time someone comes over and talks to you or just wants to have a meeting or whatever, then it's like a reset, you know. Then it takes another 20 minutes to get back into that kind of in the zone.
Yeah.
So I find that a bit distracting, but definitely learning way more how everyone else works and how the bigger picture of the agency works, which is really cool and I'm finding really interesting.
It helps you with the final product for sure, right? To know if you know what it's going to look like at the end, you being in that meeting up front does help them for sure.
Definitely. Yeah.
I'm the worst for being disruptive in an office, dude. I'm always like walking around. I'm like, let's just hire me to be the good times guy. Like, we're gonna high five people and keep people motivated because like I can't. I need to be distracted almost to be productive. It sounds like a cop out, but like if I don't have a 5-minute distraction every like hour, I can't. I start just zoning out. I can't focus. I've had some brain injury stuff, so I can't really focus that much. But I need a bit of time to kind of like disrupt everybody, get them all off track, and then go back at my desk and get my shit done. And everyone's like, fuck.
Now that everyone's distracted, I'm going to get some work
See you
done.
guys later. Yeah, for sure. Hope you enjoy lunch. Yeah, no, I think it's like I think it's a creative thing. I mean, there's different ways creative people work.
Yeah.
And I think Origin really does find great people, and they know how to find creative people, and they know how to like really do cool things. And I think like, they've been in this town they're in the U.S. now, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not going to ask you about their business because I know you just started there, but like, I think they've been around for a long time. They do great work. And the people who are behind it are super passionate. So they always find good people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, they're definitely like dedicated and hardworking, which that's why I think I really like working there, because everyone wants, if you work somewhere where everyone wants to do their best work, like on one of the first jobs I did, I was doing a Whistle Back Home commercial and we were definitely over budget, but it didn't matter because they just wanted to make sure it was the best it could be. So they gave me extra hours even though we were behind, and I thought that was sweet. Whereas other places would have been like, well, that's the budget and this is what they get. And that would have been a bit like, So.
It's tough. They have the luxury of doing that because the next time they won't have to.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's great for them. It's good. I think some guys, like some small companies, get themselves into trouble.
Yeah.
I've been watching I'm trying to do my own thing here, whatever, try to get going. But I realize you give away too much to get yourself into spot, and then you can't take it back.
Yeah.
Like I'll give you all this free stuff to get where I want to be, and now we gotta discuss how it's actually much going to cost you. And it's like, it's not the same, right? So, but I think they do a good job, man. They've done some great stuff when I worked there, and even stuff when I left. And do you think though, because you're there, you're going to help them be able to offer more than what they've done? Like, are you editing are you editing just like footage? Like, are you being able to use your stop motion stuff? You said you did a piece for them. Like, do you think I'm just curious about not so much them, but the job you have, is it going to allow you to be that bigger piece, or are you just learning more about the business and how it works?
Yeah, it's interesting because when I was freelancing for them before I started working for them, I was never doing any editing. It was just always animation. And then when they first emailed me like, oh, just so you know, like we've got this video editor job open. Do you know anyone, or do you want to come in? And I was like, hell yeah, I'll take it.
I don't know anybody. I don't know friends right now.
It's me. I'm the one. So since I've been there, I'm video editing, but I definitely see that they're also they know how to take advantage of me and my skill set rather than just trying to make me fit into their box. They're changing their box to my skill set.
Right.
So
check the camera.
All good. But so one of these latest videos that we're working on for like Whistle Black Home, actually I don't even know how much I'm allowed to say or whatever. But
don't say if you want to. Sure, I don't mind. Like, I'm not trying to dig a circle here.
But anyway, it's just in general, this new video I'm doing is like mostly in my skill set, and cool. I've managed to do a couple like little stop motion shoots for it, which is really cool. Like,
cool.
Yeah, that's sweet. Yeah.
It is cool when you get a job that does expose you to new things, but also like allows you to run with what you already know.
Yep.
I think that's been like a big saving grace in my career in the past. But I think it's like, especially if they understand, like Origin, the people who run it understand where your skills are and go, hey, we can offer this now. This is fucking cool. Let's offer this because this is something nobody else is doing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting. But it's also like a cool way to experience agency life. Because otherwise you're in a concrete jungle, like, you know, in the city somewhere at an agency, and you're like doing work which is probably cool work, but you don't have that like work from home where you can't go for a bike ride or whatever, go for a ski or somewhere, whatever.
Yeah.
Otherwise you're kind of like...
Well, I did mention like a few weeks back, I'm like, so when winter kicks in, it's probably going to be a little more quiet for me. Like,
they get busier, don't they?
I hope not.
Yeah.
But anyways, I brought up the idea, like, since it's like so flexible with hours, would they be cool if I was just going to go for a couple laps every morning and then just start a bit later and end a bit later? And they were like, definitely you can do that. And I was like, sweet. So
it's cool because that's legit, because they definitely know that their niche market is this kind of being part of that scene. And they're smart. Danielle, I think it's MJ in Montreal. Yep, they're smart people.
Definitely.
I talked to Danielle a few times about just career advice, that kind of stuff, and, you know, years ago, and always solid, like always super smart person. So it's cool. It's good. A good spot to work for sure. So let's not talk about work for a little while here. You're from Oz.
Yep.
You live here.
Mm-hmm.
Where have you been? What's your coolest place you've been? You travel much, or you just come right here?
So on my first season, I did like the whole winter here, and then I went over to Europe and did like a whole backpack in a tent kind of thing for like 3 months.
Okay,
so
cool. Right.
It was pretty quick though. Like in retrospect, I'd probably, if I was to do it again, I'd take a bit more time.
A year.
Yeah, but yeah, I just pretty much did most of the main cities of Europe. It's just like, you know, I had like this like bus kind of pass where you can just like get on, get off, and it does like the similar kind of route. I think it was like, yeah, I forget what it was called, but yeah.
As long as you, is it always as long as you keep going the same direction?
Yeah, exactly.
So you can get a plane ticket that way too, where it's like around the world.
Yeah,
it's like $3,000, but as long as you keep going the same way.
Yeah,
you have like 20 stops, whatever, 10 stops.
And then I'd always just get out of the cities at night and just like go to one of the campsites, and it seemed pretty cheap. So, and my uncle lives in London, so it was pretty good.
Oh, cool.
It was easy to, like, when I was kind of run out of money, just head back to London and chill on the couch for a bit and figure out the next plan.
That's sick.
And
that's cool.
Been to Japan before. That was pretty sweet.
Japan's awesome. I've been there for sure. It's a cool spot for sure.
And like every other Australian, I've been to Bali, but
I want to go there. I haven't been there before. I'm actually trying to go to the Philippines in the fall here. I haven't told my work yet that, but I try to take some vacation time on the way. But do you think that, like, when you're traveling or on your off time, are you trying to like figure out, like, nerd out about work, or are you trying to like just forget about it? Like, are you like when you on your weekends, whatever, like?
Yeah, all I think about is the next film.
Oh yeah, cool.
Yeah.
Well, then, I mean, fair for sure.
Yeah.
And so, like, are there cultures that are doing things that you want to check out, like, as far as film goes? I don't know, that's kind of a weird question. I don't know if that makes any sense, but are there like
I don't know about other cultures, just different genres that I keep wanting to try and push and explore and learn. Like I'm always trying to like write scripts. I'm like not a writer or anything, but like I want to be more of a storyteller.
Sure.
So I just recently bought some book by Robert McKee, who's like meant to be some guru in the whole storytelling thing. So I'm getting through that at the moment. But yeah, more storytelling the better. I
guess you talked about how you had that like crash course in tech where you made that film with no storyline.
Yeah,
how we're doing it.
I think that was why
you're like, fuck, I gotta learn how to make a story, because you know how to apply it so easily. Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, I've been a part of some films. I worked for Amazing Race Canada on television for a couple of years, and I've done like a lot of I produced a show for the Discovery Channel US, tanked, but I was producer on it. But I kind of lucked into it. But I've watched the people work in the back, behind the scenes stuff, and logging footage, editing stuff, and there's so much that goes into like a big production. Like, you think things are significant, but like even the guy who gets you a sandwich is shit means you don't have to go get one, because you have to put so much effort into like getting, like, you have to know the story, you have to know how to be technical about it, you have to know it, because if you have any questions, it's either going to leave you blanked or you have to have somebody on your team to do it.
Yeah,
but way too much beer.
That's not a thing.
Yeah, no, it's not too much thing. Yeah, it's just me. Too much carbonation. So do you have a project on right now that you can like hint about? That's not.
I've been trying to write a script for a while now, and it's all based around this one concept. And
you don't have to give it away. Just curious if it's
no. I'll share it as my. I literally ask everyone that I ever meet this question, but I'm like, if you're who are you closest with, like your mum or your dad?
My dad's dead, so my mom.
Your mum, yeah. Okay, so if your mum was to come to you and said, look, you can't ask any questions, you just need to just trust me. Like, I've accidentally like killed someone.
Yeah.
And I just need you to help me dispose of this body.
Yeah.
It's 100% not my fault, but if we do go to the cops, I look guilty even though I'm not.
Yeah.
And what would you do? Would you help? Would you help your mum? Or
Dude, I don't know.
yeah,
That's a tough question because it's hypothetical right now.
Yeah.
Probably.
yeah. So that's the thing. Even though it's the wrong thing to do, most people answer they would do it, and so that's why I'm trying to build some kind of story around this kind of.
It's up behind the curtain there. Adam, love everybody.
Yeah.
I would change my answer. I don't know.
Yeah.
I can't answer that question. I think it's like, yeah, that's whatever you're doing there sounds pretty good.
Yeah, but I want to make it stop motion and I want to make it a comedy. So these are all spanner in the works.
Oh, cool, sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah, it sounds like a dark comedy.
Yeah.
It sounds kind of like something the UK would do.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Something the British would do, the dark comedy.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the thing is like a good idea. So talking about ideas again.
Mm-hmm.
Like the idea of even what we did for Bench, what you did for Kevin, the idea of the storyline. It's kind of hard to come up with, but it's kind of easy because you're like, well, I can just make it whatever I want it to be. So like when we were discussing the idea for our video, my roommate and I were in the kitchen one night talking about like he said he had to go run some errands, and I'm like, oh, it'd be funny if a guy blah blah serial killer blah blah, and they were like, he's like, yeah, whatever. These guys are like, that's a fucking good idea. But then when I can imagine what you're doing, you're like, storyline is like, this guy escaping from kind of his like a life kind of thing, like he's like, but it's not. The story can be whatever you want it to be.
Mm-hmm.
Like the fact that you're going to try to get this thing about like somebody's mom and like whatever it is, it could be funny. That could be a horror movie.
Yeah.
It could be anything, right?
Could be anything.
It's interesting where the ideas come from and how like my curiosity is what makes you land on that idea to decide to do it. Like what makes you block out the other ideas.
Yeah.
I'm not asking you directly. I'm just saying like my curiosity lies in people's decision making on what's the story, and if it's that story. Because this could be like your best friend asks you the same question.
Yeah.
But the tie there is a bit different. So the conundrum is the family relation, I guess, right?
Yeah. The idea came from like I've been watching a lot of like well, true story. No. I don't know. Like have you ever seen Animal Kingdom, the Australian movie? Not the American Netflix show. The actual like original movie, Australian movie.
Animal Kingdom.
Animal Kingdom. Yeah.
No.
It's pretty sick. It's based off like this OG Australian crime family, and it was kind of like, even though they're the bad guys and they're doing bad things the whole time. Yeah, I'll take another beer. And even though they're the bad guys and they're doing bad things the whole time, you're still really like rooting for them. And it was kind of because of they always had that underlying kind of key message of like family and loyalty. And
It's like Breaking Bad.
Yeah, it is a bit like Breaking Bad, And I always find that kind of endearing where you can really feel for characters doing bad things, and so this is kind of I wanted to come up with some kind of concept like that, and so that's what I'm trying to do anyway. But it could be a huge failure, who knows?
Have you ever tried stop motion with people?
I tried it with my dog the other day. It is tough.
Well, dogs. I mean, yeah, they're not really gonna pay attention, but I'd be curious if that like that's been done. I'm guessing, right?
Yeah, I've seen a really good one on Vimeo actually.
I've never seen it apparently. Yeah, I won't watch it. If it's on YouTube.
Yeah, probably on YouTube too.
I'll watch it.
I'll send you a link. But this guy, he's just taking a photo and he's just moving, and the camera moves perfectly, and he's just going through cities, and he's transitioning through his little. It's crazy.
Is he like a social media guy?
Maybe. Seems like Ari Farouche or something.
Maybe I've seen it.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah.
That was probably the best like people stop motion thing I've ever seen.
Right.
So.
What's your favorite movie?
Fight Club.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Like you said that right away.
Yeah.
Oh, cool. There's no stop motion in that.
No.
Yeah.
And then after that, it's Isle of Dogs and Fantastic Mr. Fox. So.
Dude, Isle of Dogs. I saw it on the plane. I wish I saw it on the big screen. It's super cool. I was actually skeptical.
Yeah. I saw it twice in the cinema. It was that good.
That's great, man. It's fucking awesome. I mean, even as like a nerd of the genre, you'd probably stoked on it, but like it's just a cool movie. The storytelling's kind of funny, and it's funny how if you ask me my favorite movie, it's going to be a comedy. I can't say one stands out as my favorite movie, but it's always a genre of like kind of like stupid comedies.
Mm-hmm.
Probably Princess Bride's one of my favorite movies.
Yeah, it's a good
one. And even Blazing Saddles back in the day. Have you heard that before?
No. Sounds funny.
It's horrible. So it's like when my grandma got me the DVD when I was like 12.
Yep.
It's like it's way offside. Like it's not politically correct at all. but it's like a
Mel Gibson.
No, Mel. Anyway,
Yep.
I just can't blank on his name right now. Anyway, it's really offside, totally offside. But it's like from the 70s ever. But I like it because it's so wrong.
Yep.
And not that I don't agree with it, but it's like you think about the time that it was made. Like these things are all acceptable.
Mm-hmm.
But now you're like, it's like watching Eddie Murphy Raw or something that you can't. It doesn't fly anymore. But I think that's like the idea that people like I was surprised when you said Fight Club. I don't know you, but I figured you'd probably say like Island Dog first or something.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. No. David Fincher and Wes Anderson are my favorite directors for sure.
Wes Anderson's great,
and they're very different. Which yeah, I like
Wes
that as
Anderson's almost like a real life animation. Whenever he makes a movie, it's kind of like it's almost like the Grand Budapest Hotel, like all these things.
Yeah. Well, he has stop motion in every film actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What does he? Does he do Rushmore?
Yep.
That's a great movie.
Yeah.
Rushmore's awesome. Yeah, favorite movies are pretty good. What's the favorite movie you've seen in the last year? Besides Isle of Dog, you probably saw it a year ago. That came out a while ago.
Yeah, probably Isle of Dogs.
You
I don't know. I haven't been to the cinema. I saw Toy Story the other day, but yeah, that probably wasn't. It was alright.
yeah.
I don't know.
Toy Story's stop motion, right? Or no, it's not.
It's just animation.
Yeah, it's animation, right? It's hard to tell sometimes. Yeah, I mean, obviously that's animation, but yeah, I think there's like, I just think there's such a comedy can come in so many forms, and like Isle of Dogs is super funny, like it's hilarious comedy. But I've been watching some kid shows, and I think they make jokes for parents.
Definitely.
Because like they got to keep the parents involved, otherwise they're gonna just fucking leave and like turn it off for the kids.
You can actually look back at a lot of Disney movies, and when you're a kid, you think like, "Oh, this is great," like, and then you look back as an adult, and you're like, "There's a lot of sexual jokes in this."
Like the donkey in Shrek is Eddie Murphy.
Yeah.
That alone makes you think that donkey's sketchy.
Yeah.
Because Eddie Murphy's done some weird shit in his life, right? So like, you know, I think, and then like even when I was a kid, like Fern Gully is like, it's old.
Yeah.
How old are you, man?
26.
Oh, okay, yeah. So you know Fern Gully?
Yeah.
Oh no shit. Wow. So that sticks in my head as like a movie that I've seen, right? Like, and even like Aladdin, like there's some funny movies in there, like some stuff that's really good. I don't know if there's really any like The Incredibles. I don't really like. Have you seen Sausage Party?
No, what's that?
You ever seen Sausage Party?
Yeah.
So it's Seth Rogen.
Okay.
And he's like, it's all about how food.
Wait, did you say Sausage Party?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen that. Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
I thought you said Sasha. I was like, what's that?
I talk fast.
Okay.
Yeah, for sure. If I said the word acid, it sounds like I said ass.
Yeah.
So, but that's a funny movie for sure.
Yeah,
but
that's great.
First time I watched it, I fell asleep in the theater. I fell right asleep. I by myself. I didn't do this. I went and watched it. I was like, this is. I think the trailers ruined it for me. Sometimes trailers ruin the movie for you, right?
Yeah. Whenever I watch a trailer, if they give away the whole plot, I'm usually like, that's going to be a shit film. But if I watch the trailer, I'm like, I have no idea what that's about. I'm like, that's probably a good film.
Yeah. Fair. That's actually a good one. Actually, makes sense. Yeah. Like it's like. What did I just watch? An animation. Oh man, I got a bad memory. I'm gonna forget now too what it was. I was on a plane.
It's all that bad.
Yeah, dude. I work for a weed company, so what are you gonna do, right? Yeah. No, but I think that's a good thing to say. Actually, if the trailer sucks, don't watch the movie. We've been going for like an hour, I guess now. I think I checked the time. Right.
Do you find that there's definitely some kind of connection between comedy and depression?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think so for sure. I think from what I go ups and downs for sure. Yeah. Having a head injury and stuff. I've got a bad mountain bike crash like 5 years ago, so I go up and down. But I think the highs and lows are more extreme with comedy, right? Because you even just hearing these podcasts and you so many things about the behind the scenes of these guys that talk and the way they just like live their lives and stuff, and all of them are on antidepressants or some kind of pill or whatever, right? So maybe Joe or whatever, but he just punches people out and goes and like strangles people for like his, he goes does jujitsu or whatever. But
hey, he's got a system. Yeah,
for sure. He's like TRT or whatever. But he's all those guys opened my mind to what actually happens in their lives, and like there is, I think depression is. They use comedy to combat it. So if you don't have somebody said, or they all say, like I think Theo said, I think pressure makes a diamond or whatever.
Yeah, for sure.
He said most of the comedians don't come from a regular upbringing.
Yeah.
I come from the average upbringing. It's like, I'm not going to be funny. Fuck, I come from like the average lifestyle. I'm going to be a fucking normal guy my whole life. But I think you're right. Do you think that too? You think there's
definitely, yeah. I also think because they're in that kind of state where they just don't give a fuck anymore.
Yeah.
They're in that state where nothing really matters, so they may as well say the most crazy shit that comes to their head. People find it funny and they don't care, and therefore it just keeps like progressing that way. You know?
Yeah. Maybe it deepens their depression. The better they get at it. You know. But I know like a lot of them. Everyone talks about being in therapy.
Yeah.
This podcasting that I listen to, they're all kind of like California guys, they're like comedy store guys. So I probably in this like I'm in a vacuum of what I watch, but I feel like there's got to be, man. Like it's got to be some kind of depression or some kind of like weird twitch in your brain.
Yeah.
You know, like even Seinfeld, yeah, he probably doesn't go to depression, but he does like meditation every day, and he has for like 30 years. He's probably got something else going on. He's kind of an asshole, kind of a dick, right? Yeah, but like even there's always people are shady. Like comedians have, I mean, they're not shady, but yeah, they're either depressed or they're doing something wrong, and they get found out later on.
Definitely. Yeah.
So do you want to do stand up? Do you want to go try?
I want to try just for the experience. Yeah.
We should go. I'll do it. I don't have any. None of my friends want to do stand up.
Yeah.
I got one guy, my buddy Tyler. He's tried it before. So I'm starting a second podcast called This Isn't Working.
Yep.
My buddy Tyler. We just talk shit. Like we're just like it's pretty funny. We've got a few episodes up on YouTube, but we haven't aired them yet or shared them yet. But he's done it before. And I keep getting told I should do it. I'm just like that sounds crazy, but dude, you want to write jokes together?
Yeah.
Really?
No, I'm like super keen just to test it out.
Sure.
Like, I'm kind of the kind of person that I always want to be pushed out of my comfort zone. Like I'm not like great like musician or anything, but I did like a open mic night, like playing guitar and singing like not that long ago, just to see what would happen. You know? Yeah.
That's the thing is like you just throw it out there.
Yeah.
It might work. Like being horrible at stuff actually isn't that bad sometimes.
Yeah, exactly. And then even though like you completely fail or bomb or whatever, like I kind of get this feeling afterwards, like doesn't matter, like I did it and I wasn't scared. So
it's funny because I've been there before. I've done some things and like I've done public speaking stuff. My first podcast, like, oh, this is really nerve wracking. But once you've like passed that hurdle of like being at the bottom of what you're trying to do, it doesn't matter if you can't get any worse.
Exactly.
So you just do it again. And sometimes I've been at those open mics where I'm like, my name's on the list. And I'm like, I'm not going. I'm not going. And I'm like, Ryan, I'm like, no, I'm not going. So I just won't go. I'll just leave.
Yeah.
But I went there by myself one time because when I worked at Lululemon for a while, they're like, what's one of your goals? I'm like, I'm going to fucking do stand up. And I was like, there's no way I'm doing stand up. But I had to make a goal. So then I would go to these open mic nights at Crystal and I would go with some friends and we would never went, but I went by myself twice and I was like, I'm just going to go. And I actually was going to run up there and grab the mic and not be on the list, just go and do it. I don't know what it was, but I just couldn't do it.
Yeah.
It's really strange because you're just like, but who fucking cares?
So what are your bits about? Like the ones that you've written? Do you pick like themes or is it just like stuff that happens?
Things that I think about.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. It's something I don't want to record it. I'll tell you after. I don't want to record it because it's kind of like,
you got to test it out.
It's a bit shocking. Yeah, I don't want like I'll have to edit it out if I say it. Well, maybe not tons of stuff, but like a lot of fast food stuff, a lot of like maybe like some race stuff, some like offside stuff, whatever. But I have a joke about like how white people only have like 30% of the joke library they can tell because they can't be racist, so they have, and so like, but it gets deeper and that gets worse. But I don't know. Yeah, it's weird to think about trying to be funny.
Yeah, it's definitely difficult. Yeah.
That's why I'm doing this, to be honest. Because like I can just sit here. There's no like. I'm not trying to do a script.
Yeah.
I can just be more like. I have a hard time planning out jokes. I'm better at like, in the moment, trying to be funny, which usually doesn't land that much. But like.
But there's that
no
like
pressure.
Combination of in the middle where you've kind of got like, kind of a joke mapped out or some kind of topic or a theme, and then in the moment it's like, oh, this is the prime moment for this thing that I've been thinking about. Yeah, true, man. Yeah, I mean there is that time, and so I've also thought about just going up there and just like saying, hey, like, what should I talk about? Then it takes the pressure off you for having to be funny because you're like, well, you just gave me an idea. If it works, it's more successful and it's glorious. But if it doesn't work, you're like, well, you just gave me an idea. Yeah, it's your fault.
Yeah, you don't give me good ideas. Yeah, I'd be down to go. I would just go and watch sometimes, man.
Yeah. So
definitely. The next Monday will be in August, I guess, first Monday of August. And I think when I was there, they were talking about. I don't know if Wednesdays happen all year. I think it's like maybe just in the winter when it's busy in town. But there's this one guy, I remember his name, but he runs it. And there's a Facebook page. I'll find it. I'll send it to you.
Sweet.
But yeah, I don't know. You got anything else to talk about?
Not really.
No. Cool. I think we're tapped out here.
Yeah.
Well, it's good to chat, man, for sure.
Yeah,
so Kevin James, Husky Films. I'll put his 72-hour Filmmaker Showdown link in the YouTube comments. It's called Kevin. It's awesome. Well deserved for the win, buddy. It's cool. And just great work all around. So stoked to have you on the show. Come back sometime, hopefully.
Awesome. Yeah, it's been a pleasure. Anytime.
Cool. Okay, sweet. Yeah.
Cool.
Maybe not right away. Good time to mellow, but
next week.
you do it on Monday. Yeah. No, I appreciate it for sure. It's cool. Anyways, casual with me, and we'll see you next time. Thanks, everybody.